And I hear, don't you just love tea parties? Guys, it's Ashley and welcome back to my channel. Hello Sparkles. Today I have a boo it yourself because yes, it is that time of the year again. That special time of the season, Halloween DIY season. That's what I like to think, at least. So today's boo it yourself or DIY, I decided that I would do something a little different and do a ghost story over the top of my voiceover. And so instead of telling you what I'm doing, I've decided I'm going to tell you a little ghost story. And it's only because this DIY is very simple, very straightforward. You can see what I'm doing. It's not hard. So hopefully you can follow along by doing that, or you just enjoy watching me work. And then hearing a little ghost story. If you don't like it, mute it. So, I mean, that's my only other option for you if you don't like it. Or leave. I don't know. It's up to you. The world is at your own hands. Just by a click of the button. Anyway, I'm going to shrink myself down and put myself in a corner of the video. Hopefully it's not just too distracting because I'm going to be talking a lot with my hands and maybe hopefully you can see my facial expressions, but I kind of wanted to give you both videos. If I don't like it, then there won't be a video and it'll just be me talking if I don't like seeing me in my screen. But anyway, so let's shrink me down, put me in the video, and let's get it started. So this ghost story is about a couple years old, or it sounds like not old, but it happened a couple years ago or a few years back. My daughter was probably about 3 or 4, I can't quite remember, but it was about the first time we ever went to Dallas. We ever decided to go to Dallas. It was the night before we decided to go to Dallas. And me being me, we did everything last minute, of course, and I had to do packing, hotel reserving reservations last minute, so I was up late doing all that. I was up till about 1 o'clock in the morning packing and doing laundry and getting everything ready for our trip. And mind you, I was going to get up at 3 and drive to Dallas. It's about a 5 to 6 hour trip with stops and everything. So I went to lay down. It was 1 o'clock. I went and laid down. I was tired, worn out because I did everything we needed to do. And at this point, we were sleeping in the living room because Alan had surgery a couple months prior, and we had gotten used to sleeping in the living room. Basically, we were lazy about it. We were just being lazy. I just hadn't went back to bed, like back into our bedroom. So my daughter's bed was in there. We were sleeping on the couch. Alan was already asleep. Emma was already asleep on her bed. And I go and I laid down. Just get to sleep, like just barely start dozing off. Like there's no lights on, no nothing. Just starting to doze off, which is very hard for me to do with no TV. And I hear, don't you just love tea parties? I'm like, what is that? It's like, okay, she must be playing with her toys. She must have woke up, started playing with her toys. This is not unknown for her to do. So I told Emma, I was like, Emma, you gotta lay down, put the book up. We're driving in the morning. You need to go to sleep. I don't hear any response from her. Usually she responds with a okay or whatever. At that point, it was something super cute, I'm sure. And I hear nothing. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe she just rolled on it. So I'm like, okay, well, it's not making any noises now. I'm going to go back to sleep. That's all that's going on in my brain the entire time. And I lay back down, just start to doze off again. And I hear, don't you just love tea parties? Don't you just love tea parties? And I'm like, what is going on? Okay. Emma, seriously, put the book away. Like, that's enough. Put it up. I don't hear anything. And I can kind of see her body, like, laying in her bed from the light from the window and kind of see, like, the outline of her. And she's not moving. I can hear her breathing. I can hear her kind of snoring, her light little snore. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe she's just laying on it. She's rolling on it and it's hitting it just right. So I get up, turn the light on, I gently move her over, look at her in her bed. There's no book, no toys in her bed at all except for her puppy she sleeps with. And I'm like, okay, well, all right, well, maybe a toy in her room had fell. And at this point, Lex and her were sharing a room. And all her toys were in there, but she slept with us. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it just fell just right. So I go back to bed, and I lay down, turn off the lights, lay down, just get to sleep. And this is probably about 1:20 in the morning at this point. I get to sleep, and it wakes me up. Don't you just love tea parties? Don't you just love tea parties? Back to back to back to back. I'm like, okay, what in the world? So I get up, I turn on the light, I try to find the book. I'm like, okay, well maybe that toy is just constantly hitting it, so it's hitting it just right. It's like sliding down slowly or something. So I'm looking everywhere for it. I'm looking. I don't even find it. And then it's like I gave up. I went and laid down. This is probably about 1:30 in the morning at this point. And mind you, the entire time I'm up, it's not making any noises. There's no noises. It's not going off. It's not doing anything. And I lay down. And I just start to doze off again. Like, just get into that sleep. And it starts going off even faster. Like, as if somebody was sitting there constantly pressing at the button and constantly going. It's just giving me chills just thinking about it. And I was like, oh my God, okay. So I start kicking Alan. Like, Alan, get up. Alan, get up. It won't stop. Alan, get up. And he's like, what is that? And I was like, it's Emma's book, but I can't find it, and it won't stop. He's like, go find it. And I was like, no, you go find it. And I finally get brave and get up the courage to go and find that book. And turns out it was behind our TV stand in a basket, face up, the entire time. And I'm like, what? How? And every single time I'm up and moving around, that light's on, it's not going off. And if you know what book I'm talking about, I'll see if I can find a picture to put in here, but it is a Minnie Mouse tea party. Like, you push the buttons and it talks, like you find the sign and you push the button and it says that sentence or something that correlates with what's going on in the story. Like one of those push to talk storytelling books. It was one of Emma's favorites. I was like, I'll solve this. And I took the batteries out. I never put them back in. But it was the strangest thing that had ever happened. And every single time I were to get up, it would stop. And it still freaks me out to this day. And not really freaks me out, but it gives me chills. It gives me goosebumps just talking about it. So yeah. So I really hope you enjoyed this quick little ghost story. I know it's like not as spooky and scary as it probably should have been or whatever. Yes, I eventually went to sleep. I woke up an hour later and drove a long time to Dallas. I did fine. I'm alright. I'm still here. But I don't recommend doing that. I don't recommend having ghosts bother you the night before. It's not fun. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this ghost story and my DIY. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. Comment down below what you would like to see more of. I do have a couple other DIYs, do it yourselves coming up for the season. Hope you stay tuned, and at the end I'm hoping to show my entire mantle when it's done. Alright, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye!